You're watching South Asia Newsline. Another top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 13th of January. India-US discuss strengthening critical mineral supply chain. Indian Army Chief warns Pakistan after drone intrusions along border. And Nepal President summons National Assembly session next week. And now for all the details. India's Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav participated in the Critical Minerals Ministerial meeting hosted by the US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on Tuesday to discuss solutions to secure and diversify supply chains for critical minerals, especially rare earth elements. The meeting was held on the sidelines of a gathering of finance ministers from the Group of Seven, also called the G7 grouping, which includes Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK and the US, along with the European Union. India and Australia have also been invited. Secretary Bessent expressed his optimism that nations understand well the need to remedy current deficiencies in critical mineral supply chains. Speaking to ANI, Vaishnav said the discussions were particularly important at a time when manufacturing sectors, especially electronics manufacturing, are growing rapidly in India and across the world.
So in this meeting, participants from various countries, they discussed their experience, the steps that they are taking in making the supply chain resilient, especially technology for refining, processing the mineral ores so that high quality critical minerals, especially the rare earth, permanent magnets, those kind of materials can be secured in a long term, in a sustainable manner.
Meanwhile, as an icebreaker on Monday, US Ambassador designate to India Sergio Gore stated that India will be invited to join the US-led Pax Silica group of nations aimed at strengthening the global silicon and semiconductor supply chain as a full member next month. He also said India and the US will discuss trade issues this week at a time when failure to secure a trade deal has roiled ties. India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar launched the official logo and website for BRICS 2026 on Tuesday, which the South Asian nation is set to chair this year. Jaishankar said that India's BRICS chairmanship will seek to bring about greater global welfare as it has expanded its scope over the years. The current global environment presents complex and interlinked challenges. Geopolitical uncertainties and persistent development gaps continue to affect countries across regions, the minister said. The new logo is inspired by the lotus, symbolizing deep-rooted heritage and rising resilience. Its petals reflect the colors of the BRICS countries, and the Namaste gesture at the center of the emblem signifying respect and call for collaboration. The multilateral forum consists of 5 major economies: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, with Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, the UAE, and Indonesia becoming full members of the forum later. This year, BRICS will complete 20 years since its inception in 2006.
India's BRICS chairship will seek to bring together the potential of BRICS countries for greater global welfare. Friends, when India prepares to assume the BRICS chairship in 2026, we do so at an important moment in the grouping's journey. In 2026, BRICS will complete 20 years since its inception, during which it has steadily evolved into a significant platform for cooperation among emerging markets and developing economies.
And India's Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi on Tuesday warned Pakistan over recent drone intrusions along the border in Jammu and Kashmir, saying Pakistan's Director General of Military Operations has been told to control such activities. Addressing his annual press conference, the Chief of Army Staff said multiple small drones were sighted along the line of control in Jammu, Samba, Rajouri and Poonch sector between January 10 to 12. General Dwivedi said the drones appear to be defensive in nature and were likely being used to probe the Indian Army's preparedness. He asserted that there are no gaps or laxities in India's border security that could be exploited for terrorist infiltration. He further stated that Operation Sindoor, launched in May 2025, remains ongoing, warning Pakistan that any future misadventure will attract retaliation. He added that terrorist recruitment in 2025 has been almost non-existent, with 31 terrorists neutralized so far, most of them of Pakistani origin.
तो ये जो ड्रोन थे, ये मैं समझता हूं कि डिफेंसिव ड्रोन थे, जो कि ये ऊपर आके देखना चाहते हैं कि हमारे अगेंस्ट कोई कार्रवाई तो नहीं हो रही है। मैं ये मना नहीं कर रहा हूं, हो सकता है कि वो ये भी देखना चाहें कि कोई कहीं गैप तो नहीं है, इंडियन आर्मी में कोई ढिलाई तो नहीं है, कोई गैप हो जहां से वो टेररिस्ट वहां से भेज सकें। तो मेरे ख्याल से उनको उसका नेगेटिव जवाब भी मिला होगा, उन्होंने देखा होगा कि आज की तारीख पे कोई ऐसी जगह नहीं है, कोई ऐसे गैप्स नहीं जहां से वो भेज सकें। लेकिन ये जरूर है, आज जो हमारी डीजीएमओ स्टॉक हुई है, उस स्टॉक में इसके बारे में जिक्र किया गया है और उनको बताया गया है कि ये हमें मंजूर नहीं है और कृपया करके इस पे लगाम लगाइए।
Failure to implement an agreement with the Awami Action Committee has once again pushed POJK into political turmoil. Protests leaders warn that continued delays and alleged targeting of youth could trigger renewed unrest across the region. Their report.
Political tension is once again rising in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir as concerns grow over the implementation of an agreement between the government and the Joint Awami Action Committee. Addressing a protest in Muzaffarabad, Kakit Nawaz Mir, core member of the Joint Awami Action Committee, accused the authorities of targeting youth but said the movement continues to exercise restraint.
हमारे नौजवानों को डायरेक्ट गोलियां मारी गई, हमारे नौजवानों को पूरी रियासत के अंदर तशद्दुद का निशाना बनाया गया, चादर और चार दीवारी का तकद्दुस पामाल किया गया। लेकिन जम्मू कश्मीर ज्वाइंट अवामी एक्शन कमेटी ने सब्र का मुजाहरा किया, क्योंकि एक पूरा प्लान था। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह रियासत के लोग, रियासत के नौजवान बाशऊर हैं, उनको जो बात कही उन्होंने वो बात मानी। मैं फिर ये बात कहूंगा कि आप हमारे पाबंद नहीं हैं, लेकिन आपसे एक रिक्वेस्ट हम जरूर करेंगे कि आप डिसिप्लिन के अंदर रहें। आप जब डिसिप्लिन के अंदर रहते हैं, ये जिस तरीके से आप यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं ना, खुदा की कसम आधी कामयाबी आपकी इस तरीके बैठने से मैं समझता हूँ उनकी नब्ज क्या है।
In October 2025, a massive strike led by the Joint Awami Action Committee paralyzed Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, uniting people over demands for free healthcare, free education, and fair internet access. With 38 demands, the peaceful movement was seen as a turning point in POJK's struggle for basic rights and accountability.
उसके बाद 4 और 5 अक्टूबर एक एग्रीमेंट हुआ। एग्रीमेंट के अंदर तमाम शराइत पब्लिक की गई जो लिखी गई हैं। हुकूमत पाकिस्तान, हुकूमत आज़ाद कश्मीर और जम्मू कश्मीर ज्वाइंट अवामी एक्शन कमेटी, उस एग्रीमेंट के अंदर 3 वो ताकतें थी जिनके दरमियान वो एग्रीमेंट हुआ। इससे पहले आपको कहा जाता था कि ये जत्था है, आपको कोई तस्लीम नहीं करता था। आपकी सबसे बड़ी और पहली कामयाबी क्या थी कि जिस वक्त जम्मू और कश्मीर ज्वाइंट अवामी एक्शन कमेटी के मैंडेट को तस्लीम करते हुए उस फरीकी एग्रीमेंट के अंदर आपने बहैसियत फरीक पेपर साइन किए, आपकी हकीकत को तस्लीम किया गया, जो पूरी दुनिया आज कश्मीरियों की हकीकत को तस्लीम करती है और मानती है। ये आपकी सबसे बड़ी कामयाबी है।
Moving on, Rohingya refugees living in Bangladesh have expressed renewed hope for justice as the International Court of Justice has opened hearings in a landmark genocide case against Myanmar. At Kutupalong, the world's largest refugee camp, Rohingya survivors spoke of deep anguish after years of displacement and uncertainty. The refugees stressed the need for accountability, reflecting a widespread desire among refugees for justice and recognition of their suffering. The case was filed in 2019 by Gambia, which accuses Myanmar of committing genocide against the Rohingya minority during a military crackdown in 2017. That operation forced more than 730,000 Rohingya to flee to Myanmar's Rakhine state into neighboring Bangladesh.
আজিয়া হয় 100 বছর ধরে আরকানার মধ্যে হষ্ট হয় আইদে আর জরুং বরি আইদে নিয়মিত জরুং বরি আইদে আরা ইয়ানো দুনিয়ারে আহ্বান জানাইদে আরা দুনিয়ারে ইয়ানো অনুরোধ করিদে সুইজারল্যান্ডের মতো বেগিন একয়রে আর নিজর সহি বিচার গান আর নিজর হক খান নিশ্চিত করি পাল্লাই আর রিপাট্রিয়েশনরে যত দ্রুতভাবে সম্ভব করি পাল্লাই
A UN fact-finding mission had previously concluded that Myanmar's military campaign involved genocidal acts, including mass killings, sexual violence, and the destruction of villages. Myanmar has consistently denied the accusations, insisting its military actions were aimed at insurgents. Rohingya refugees and human rights advocates hope the proceedings will be a crucial step towards accountability, justice, and a dignified return to their homeland in Myanmar.
তা শাসি চাই আরা নেওয়ার আরা যদি মারতে মারা মারতো আরা শাসি না থাকলে আরা নো মারে আরা মাঝে আরা শাসি না থাকলে বিচার দিতে শাসি চাই বললা
And Nepal's President Ramchandra Paudel has summoned a session of the National Assembly for next week. The session is first since the September Gen Z protests and the first since the dissolution of the House of Representatives. The session will be held at an alternative venue inside Singh Darbar after the Parliament building was damaged during the protests. According to the spokesperson for the Office of the President, the session has been called following a recommendation from the cabinet meeting held on Monday. According to the Parliament Secretariat, the session will consider several agenda items including government-introduced bills and ordinances. Parliamentary committee study reports and annual reports are also expected to be tabled. The upcoming session follows the Gen Z movement that took place on September 8th and 9th, 2025, which led to significant political turmoil. In the aftermath of the protests, an interim government was formed and the House of Representatives was dissolved. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.